Any progress, Mr. Speaker?
Yeah, we had good conversation. I think we're probably more than anything right now understanding each other's positions a little better and understanding each other's priorities. I wouldn't say that we're getting to the point where we're coming to final numbers, but we're making progress. So it was a good meeting.
The governor was saying that he says there's $400 million in new money for Transpo in your proposal. That he's not counting the 200 in bonding because it's a one-time. He's talking about ongoing. He says we need to come up 200 more million.
Well, he counted it in his proposal. I think he might forget that, but he counted it when he proposed it. And you know what? It's $6 billion of real money that will get spent on roads and bridges over the next 10 years. We think that's the goal. We think that's always been the goal, and our plan accomplishes that.
The governor earlier criticized the part of the plan on the trunk highway bonding, saying that it's existing state revenue and that it's disingenuous or inaccurate to say that it's new revenue for roads and bridges.
No. This would be new trunk highway bonds on top of trunk highway bonds that are already being issued. These new trunk highway bonds would be paid, the debt service would be paid for within our proposal, and it would spend $6 billion of money over the next 10 years on roads and bridges. $6 billion now that's not being spent, and that's the goal.
So where do you go from here?
I think that we're having a few groups and chairs break out and talk about a few things and see if we can get a little bit closer. I know the Ways and Means and Finance Committee chairs are meeting to talk about a few things to see if they can figure out some numbers and get a little closer on the spending piece of the bill. We seem to be furthest apart right now on the transit piece of the transportation, so we've set that aside for the time being and are talking about the other things. I think that probably more work needs to be done in the conference committee on transportation, so we'd like to set a target of general fund dollars, and right now we're $100 million apart on that. The governor's proposing $200 million. We're proposing $300 million out of general fund. So if we can rectify that and set a target for them, let them get to work and see if they can come together on the other pieces.
Yet today?
No, we're not going to meet anymore tonight. We're going to let folks visit with each other tonight and likely get back together tomorrow.
Can you conceive of this moving forward, the bonding piece of it and the general fund piece, the supplemental, independently of Transpo?
I think anything's possible. We're not drawing lines in the sand right now. This is the point at which I think we all come together to solve the problems that Minnesotans care about, and of course we all might have a little different view of how to represent those priorities, but I think we're all committed to solving them, and nothing's been taken off the table at this point as far as are we going to stop working on any particular area. I think the answer to that is no, and it was clarified a number of times in the meeting.
Chair Davids, your conference committee is meeting tomorrow. Do you have a joint target?
We do not have a joint target, but there's quite a few things that we can do to help the process. We'll be looking at dates, getting dates updated from House File 848. And so we'll do that tomorrow. Then we're going to look at some non-money items, TIF districts, local option sales taxes, some of those areas we'll be looking at. And so we can get some of those issues over to the revisor's office so that when we do get a target, we can put the spending issues forward quite quickly.
What kind of direction have you all received from the revisor's office about kind of when the deadline is to get language, funding, money, dollar signs off to them and get it in place to get onto the floor?
From what we understand, it's Thursday. So
Is that a deadline you guys are working from in your plan?
No, we didn't really discuss that all that much. Obviously, it's Tuesday evening right now. I'll remind folks that we put the final deal together last year on Friday evening at about 5 o'clock, and then we executed that. Now, I don't think anybody was enjoying the round-the-clock pace of that, but sometimes it takes a deadline to get people to move from their positions. We don't have, to put that in perspective, we can't pass bills on Monday, so we have to be done by Sunday at midnight, so that would back it up at least one day, and that's pretty consistent with what the revisor's office has advised, that they need some time to put these bills together.
Do you all remain optimistic that this can be done by May 22nd?
I think just on that question, the previous question as well, the conference committees, I think, can work towards adopting articles and start getting that to the revisor to help them with their work, and that's consistent with what we've done in the past. To your question, Rachel, we we are optimistic that we can get it done. I think my hope is that everybody remains optimistic that we can get things done and come to agreement on these issues, so.
I'm optimistic too. You know, with the transportation, again, it's such a small portion of the general fund that we're talking about. And all the caucuses have said it's a priority, and if it's a priority, we're talking about, you know, 300 million a year, 400 million a year, 600 million a year, we should be able to get that done. And with the surplus, I don't see why we can't get some middle-class tax relief as well. So we're optimistic.
Yeah.
And I know you never stop believing.
Don't stop believing, Rachel. Don't stop.